started really strongly on the weekend and sort of dwindled towards the end. What were the key takeaways from that game?
Yeah, I thought we actually finished pretty strong. It was a positive that, Port Adelaide had a really strong second quarter and the start of their third, start of their fourth, but we didn't use the word dwindled. We were proud of how we actually fought the game out, aside from, probably 20 minutes of footy in the game where Port Adelaide got right on top of us, and while they were having momentum in the game, we got scored against really heavily. So that was a big focus for us this week, that in the top competition, when you play against good sides, they're going to have those periods of footy, and how can we bunker down, not get scored against, and be able to wrestle momentum back was a big focus. But plenty of positives to take out of the game. Our start, like you said, to be able to score quite well against a team that are a strong contest and clearance team. Get the ball living in our front half off the back of good defence. I thought that was us at our best. But just trying to maintain that consistency is important across the full 80 minutes of footy.
A big part of Port's probably 20 minutes of their good patch, I suppose, was when they seemed to tag Ella Roberts out of the game and nullify her influence. Do you prepare this week to be ready that she might again get a bit of a tag?
They changed the opponent, so she was tagged in the first quarter as well. Ella just played so well that she was able to get on top. So Port changed which opponent they had on her, but it was also a bit positionally, like we're constantly trying to manage Ella's midfield versus forward time, and shares it a bit with Bella. And especially with Kelly Gibson out of the side, we were trying to kind of fill a position with having a forward ahead of the ball as well. And Ella's really good there and has impacted for us as a forward. The learnings for us is just trying to walk that line a bit better in game and be able to react to it a bit quicker if she is kind of ahead of the ball and it's not getting to her. So a bit of that was a learning for us as coaches, and then giving Ella the licence that if she has a period of footy like that where she's out of play, she's got the licence to go up and insert herself. So Sinead Goody, who was playing on her, is a good player, but I don't think it was a matter of her necessarily shutting her down. It was just probably strategically getting it a bit better for us in the coach's box, and Ella having the confidence to go and do that herself as well. But to Ella's credit, she was able to work through it and then have a really strong second half as well. 11 marks and career high 27 touches. She's been, for a young player, the way that she keeps improving and going to work on her game's been awesome.
Do you expect the Hawks will give her extra attention this weekend?
I think most sides now, when they put their opposition analysis up, will have Ella on the board, but I don't think that'll be new this week. I think Els has faced that every week. I think they will, but they've got a really strong system, strong midfield themselves, and they're going quite well. So she'll be a focus, and all good midfields can kind of attack and defend, but I think they'll back in their system and back them in to get the job done. Not necessarily tag her, but having a look at some of their mids in terms of Bates and West, I know they'll have a defensive mindset anyway. So, not necessarily a tag, maybe just like a run with.
Bella, how much do you, look at ladder positions now, and you're striving for a maiden finals appearance? How much is that on the playing group's mind?
A little bit. We're kind of, not wanting to shy away from the fact that we do want to play finals, and this year has been the closest year that we can really have a good crack at that. But I think the biggest thing that Daisy and the coaching staff have brought to us this year is how week on week kind of our perspective is, and whether or not that's been a combination of the condensed fixture as well as just the mindset that we've had. You'd asked us a couple of weeks ago and we wouldn't know who we're versing in 2 weeks, which I think is a really good thing. It's on our minds. Obviously we want it, we're hungry for it, but we'll just keep going week to week until it happens.
So you like the idea of the condensed fixture? You're happy to see that continue for the next few years?
Yeah, I don't mind the condensed fixture. Obviously with the injuries it's a bit tough, but what that looks like in the future, if the AFL wants to keep it, maybe increasing list sizes would be ideal to get a few more girls on the park, but I'm not too complaining about it.
It's still obviously, 4 weeks to go, Hawks, Freo, I think it's then the Cats and Swans. So you win a couple of those and you're essentially in. That's a good sort of test to see where you're at after such solid improvement this season already. I guess Daisy, I'd like to have you.
We see great opportunity starting with this week. It's funny because big picture, yeah, that's why we're here. You know, you wouldn't find a team in the competition that isn't striving to win a premiership and to play finals. Like, I don't think there's any coach or player getting around that enjoys sitting back and watching finals, and we don't want to be one of those teams. But, you know, with the way that our weeks are designed and the mindset you get in when you're in here, you're just so focused on Hawthorn. And before that, how we train tonight so that we're best prepared for Hawthorn. So, you know, we've tried, you know, intentionally to be really focused on how do we get better. Whether we've won or lost, there's always feedback in every game of how we just keep building where we want to get to be one of those teams that contend. So, yeah, the maths and the ladder they're there, and you know, you'd be lying to say you don't think about it, but you've always got so much else on your plate that you don't really have it front of mind.
You talked about the positives from the game, and you were well in it at three-quarter time. A couple of lapses early in the last. I think one of your defenders lost sight of the ball. They took a couple of marks inside 50. Zoe Wakeford's brain fade just before half-time, the 50-metre penalty. What sort of feedback did you give her after that? Because that was a bit unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Zoe needed any about the 50. I think it was just a mistake, and you know, more of our feedback surrounded like the rest of her game. We thought she did an outstanding job alongside Beth Schilling and Georgie Cleaver, playing on Houghton, Teakle and Saint, leading goal kicker in the competition from previous years. Teakle, who's right up there at the moment, and then Houghton, who's an experienced, really dangerous forward. For us to send those three out there, I think 2 teenagers and Beth Schilling, who's played under 15 games of footy, we were so proud of their efforts across the course of the game. Yeah, Zoe probably would have lost sleep on her own after that incident, knowing what it's like to be a player when you make a mistake like that. So she knows. She's a footy head and she watches so much footy. Like, she didn't need any education. She knew.
Daisy, you went to the game on the weekend to watch Hawthorn. Firstly, how great is it to line up to get into an AFLW game? And secondly, I guess, what did you learn from watching Freo take on the Hawks?
Yeah, it was awesome. I love lining up for women's footy. Bring it on, make the lines go right down the street and I'll be in it. But no, the Hawks, they've been impressive. Their fundamentals are solid, like right across the board. Their skill level enables them to play a game where they try and maintain possession of the ball and really shift it and play quite a quick game style where if your defence is a bit off, they'll keep the ball off you and be giving their forwards really good opportunities. So yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge. It'll challenge our defence, but when we've been at our best so far this season, when we defend well, put the ball back into a contest, we often get our best scoring opportunities off the back of that. So yeah, that'll be a big focus this week.
They were dealt a couple of injuries early and managed to push through with a depleted bench. I guess, do you worry about who they have, or are you potentially going to get some players back this week? Where's Hosco tracking?
Yeah, Hosco will be a test, which is exciting. So she's a real chance to play, as will Callie Gibson. We sort of wasn't an injury, so to speak, with Gibbo, but she was just one after a lot of footy in a short period of time, needed a week off. But we expect that she should play. And Amy Franklin would have gone close, but she'll need another week with her finger. So good to get a couple back potentially, given that their weeks are all good. In terms of their side, they've got a lot of depth in their squad. Yeah, injuries were unfortunate, but impressive that they were able to fight through the game with only a couple on the bench. So we'll prepare for them at their best.
Bit AFL men's related, I guess, while he's returning to the club. John Worsfold, are you excited to have him back in the nest?
Absolutely. I mean, a champion of the club and had such a successful history here. And then the role that he'll play in terms of overseeing our program is exciting. I don't know Woosha that well personally, but everything I hear about him, he's a real sharp football mind and really strong in the leadership space and a progressive thinker. So I think for our AFLW program to now sit under his governance will be exciting for us. Yeah, it will take the high-performing nature and the elite standards that we want to drive in our program to a whole new level, to have him sitting over the top of it, and for Michelle Cowan to have that direct report through a football director to the board is a really positive thing that we welcome.
Wearing the Pride Round jersey this round, debuted it last week. Can you tell us a bit about what that means to you and the group?
Yeah, it's really special, obviously. our competition is probably the strongest competition that we get to platform the Pride community and get to show our love and the inclusion and diversity space, and something that the club's done really, really well, especially the past couple of years. I know there's now like a working group, the diversity and inclusion working group, which is Daisy and a couple of the girls are in, which is really exciting. So I think for all of us who are in the Pride community and those who aren't, it's really special for our group to kind of be able to have those open conversations and pay back to the community as well.
Bella, we saw Maddie Pearce just come out and body shaming. After she scored the goal, she pointed to herself, and there's been a bit of chat about that. Is body shaming something that athletes are still dealing with in AFLW, and have you had any experiences with it?
I haven't had any personal experience, but I'm sure it is. I think you can grow as much as you can as a society, and it's still always going to be there. And I think it's more towards your energy and how you respond to it. And we're just so lucky that we've got such an amazing support in our well-being and in with our girls especially. That there's always support for them to come and turn whenever they need. So to deal with that, it's again just about support for us.
Is it disappointing to see stuff like that happening still, in this day and age with female sport where it's at? Yeah,
of course it is. I mean, we're trying to set an example for the young girls and boys coming through. So for people to be still stuck in their mindset and their ways is unfortunate. But again, it's only our energy that we can control. So as long as we can kind of model that behaviour and be inspiration for the young kids, and that's the most important thing.